back to the day before. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. It's going to be very laid back. I'm just going to be telling you more about me. More about me, where I feel my channel is headed, and things like that. So if you don't know my name is Erica, and I started this YouTube channel over a year ago. So I started the YouTube channel. I started out as subscribed to Hunt a Killer boxes and subscribed to a Margot Elena box and things of that nature. So my channel kind of naturally morphed into like unboxings, and with Hunt a Killer unboxings of those and investigations. Also, this video is going to be like Trisha Paytas style. I'm not going to try to make any cuts or anything like that. I'm just going to keep going. So if I repeat myself or whatever, that's just going to be the way it goes today. Because I just want to tell you more about me and things like that. So, as I was saying, that's what the channel kind of morphed into. But I see it taking a bit of a different direction. So we'll get more into that at like the end. But I want to tell you more about myself. Now, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology, and I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. I also have a Master of Science in criminal justice. And for a long time, college was a huge part of my life. It was a way to escape poverty and better myself. And what I learned the most about all those years in college is just like, you know, a sense of like looking deeper into things, not accepting things for what they seem to be on the surface. I think that was like the largest lesson I learned from going to college. And then I have 3 kids. The oldest just graduated in April of last year with his bachelor's degree in business administration with an emphasis in management. So I'm very proud of him, and he's right now just like getting his resume together, looking for a job. He's wanting a job now that he has his degree outside of food service, which he's worked at a large part of his life. He worked at one restaurant for several years as a cook, and he can cook very well, but he just wants something different now out of life, and I totally get that. So I homeschool my 2 teenage boys, and they are just a joy to homeschool and be around. It is one of the reasons why I don't get to make as many YouTube videos as I would like to. They do not want to be a part of YouTube at this time, and I'm not going to make them, of course. So a lot of my time is spent homeschooling them, and I cannot devote that time to my YouTube channel at all. They don't want to be a part of it. So, but I love them so much. They're so smart. They are so smart. So it's getting hard to like keep up with them in terms of their homeschool. Like they are doing things in math now that I remember doing, but I barely remember doing them, right? So, also, last year, I spent a lot of the year attempting to, like, Marie Kondo my house. And I also wanted to mention that because, like, this year, I plan to do it. I have plans to do that, right? So I'm not going to put that on my YouTube channel at all either. I'm just going to try to do that. And, it's a challenge. Like, I will start Marie Kondoing, you know, like getting rid of one type of object, and then just life gets in the way. It's like, I don't know how people do it, so I'll have to figure that out. Like, we're not too bad of a family at like hoarding, but we have specific things that we do hoard that I need to make sure that we go through and get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Like, my husband, he hoards like tech stuff, you know, like electronic stuff, like computers and whatnot, you know. And he does have a business, and he has a job, a full-time job in IT, but yeah, we just need to pare down on some of our belongings. So yes, I am married to a tech wizard. He is also an ethical hacker. He's certified in a lot of different ways in the technical fields, and it's really rubbed off on my kids. They're very smart, and they, you know, naturally have learned coding language from just like watching their father and things of that nature. And it's also rubbed off on myself like a bit. Like, you know, I could probably be one of those people that you call for tech support. Like, I couldn't go out and like physically fix things, but I could probably answer a phone and answer basic questions on how to like fix your computer if it's not working exactly correctly. So I think that's kind of cool. And so that's like my everyday life. You know, I homeschool. My husband goes to work in tech and things like that. My oldest son is looking for a job outside of food service now that he's graduated from college, and that's basically my life. So other than that, I have YouTube, and I also like reading, writing, video games, mystery TV shows, and movies. So here's what I'm thinking. Right now, my YouTube channel, and I've had it for about a year, has been Hunt a Killer, unboxings, and investigations. And I like that part. I like mystery stuff, you know, mystery novels, writing mysteries, right? So I like that part of my YouTube channel, and I want to keep it. I like unboxing Margot Elena subscription boxes for you guys. However, I'm not an unboxing channel like that. You know, there are other channels that do that and fill that need. And so I think I'm going to cut that out of my channel. And I also have done some like random videos here and there, but I always gravitate back toward mystery. So here's what I'm thinking. For my channel, going into the future, I'm going to concentrate on anything mystery. So the Hunt a Killer unboxings and investigations fits into that mystery category. Video games that are mystery fit into that category. And I've taught myself recently how to do video gameplay and record it and edit it and put it up onto YouTube. So I think I'm going to incorporate that as well. And I'll get more into that later. I love reading. I read mystery stuff. That's like basically what I read. There's very few novels or books that I do not like, that I read that are not mystery, okay? Anything I write is mystery, okay? So I have started 6 or 7 novels, right? I have gotten about like 20,000 to 50,000 words, and then I get stuck. So what I'm thinking is, on my writing projects, I'm going to share some of that too. Some of my mystery writing projects. And, like, not the details or anything, but my progress to kind of like push me forward and get me over that hump. And maybe I will make some friends on YouTube that are author tubers, I believe, that can help me get some tips and tricks to get past that writing hump. So yes, reading and writing are 2 very important parts of my life. If I want to be a writer, I know from advice from Stephen King and so many other successful authors, you have to be a reader too. So I want to incorporate both of those things into my channel. Okay? Yeah, and mystery video games, just as kind of like, you know, I do mystery video games for fun, purely for fun. And that could just be like a part of my channel that's like a fun thing to do. And then mystery TV shows and movies. You know, like if there is a movie that comes out based on a book that I've read, I'd like to watch it and maybe, share my opinion with you guys. Or a mystery TV show, and I'm going to get more into that. So, now I'm going to share the last, 3 or 4 months of what I've been doing as far as, mystery themed things, in my reading list and stuff. So, the favorite books that I read in September are The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware and The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. Both of these are really mystery related if you think about it. The Testaments is more of a dystopian thing, but there are mysteries throughout that story. And it's told in the point of view of 3 women who are entrenched in Gilead. Okay? So if you've read The Handmaid's Tale, you know what Gilead is. And The Testaments is the follow-up novel. It's excellent, and I highly recommend it. And The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware is one of my favorite books I read last year. I also highly recommend that. It's about a woman who goes to work as a nanny in this house that has a lot of tech things in it. And she doesn't know how to control them, and it's like she feels like she's being watched. It's kind of like a very eerie novel. And I also recommend that too. Every book that I read of Ruth Ware's gets better and better. So she's one of my favorite authors. Anything that she comes out with, I'm going to be reading it. So in October, I read this great book that I also recommend. It's called No Exit by Taylor Adams. And this is about a woman who is traveling, and she gets snowed in at a rest stop. And in the back of this vehicle, there is a girl locked in a cage. So that's where the mystery sets in, and I won't say any more about it. It's an excellent book. I highly recommend it. There are unexpected twists and turns in that book, and it kept me on the edge of my seat. And I read it within a few days because it was so good that I couldn't put it down. Now, The Institute, which I read in October by Stephen King, is also a great book. And there are some mystery elements to it. There are these kids that are in The Institute. And I won't say any more about that book. I do recommend it. But I recommend it when you have some time. It was a book that I could put down and come back to later. I will say that. Whereas No Exit was a book I could not put down. So, I mean, I do recommend it, but there are others I would recommend more that I read around the same time period. And so I also read 2 books by my favorite author, Agatha Christie. Of course, she's like the queen of mystery, right? I have her right here. And I'm going to take an Agatha Christie quiz later. But I read her 2 books, Sad Cypress and Evil Under the Sun. I'm trying to read all the Hercule Poirot books because I love that character so much. And he's the detective in Murder on the Orient Express. So if you've heard of that, you may know who I'm talking about. But Evil Under the Sun, I've read that so many times, and I will always reread that. I forget who narrates the audiobook. I think I may have listened to the audiobook. I love it. It's one of my favorite books by Agatha Christie, and I highly recommend, if you've never read Agatha Christie and you want to read something by her, I would read that book. It's very good. So, in November, I didn't read as much, but I did read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. And that's basically about a guy who has to figure out the murder of Evelyn Hardcastle. And he wakes up every day in a different person. And he has to figure out this crime. So every day he wakes up to the same day. The day that Evelyn Hardcastle gets murdered, right? But he wakes up in someone different. And he has to figure out, for this cycle to stop, who murdered Evelyn Hardcastle. So in December, I didn't really read that much, or you know what? I think I did read some books, but my obsession that month was I got the Nancy Drew Midnight in Salem video game. So that was a new video game that Her Interactive came out with, and we've been waiting for like 5 years. And I will have to say that Her Interactive has, over those years, given poor customer service to the fans that love Nancy Drew games. I'm one of those people. I played since they first came out, whenever I could. I don't even think I owned a computer when they first started coming out, but I would play like, at school or wherever I could at my mom's house, because I didn't live with my mom, and things of that nature. So I've played those games since they were first coming out, and I love Nancy Drew games. But I think some like big changes happened at Her Interactive. I do like Midnight in Salem, the new game, but I also received poor customer service. There were some things about the release of the game that were very negative, and I hope that Nancy Drew games continue to come out, but I hope that the customer service improves, and I also hope that the fans are kept more updated on stuff that's happening. Okay, so I do plan to do some like gameplay on my channel. I'd like to do all my Nancy Drew games. I also have some Poirot games, like Agatha Christie Poirot games that are just like point and click, but they're kind of cool. I don't know. Well, the last part of my video must have not been recorded and cut off. So, what I was saying is, I just want to incorporate some mystery video games into my channel. I have figured out how to record them on my computer, so I'm looking forward to adding that to my channel. And then I was just saying, like, for so far in January, I binge watched the second season of You, which is on Netflix, and it is an excellent show. It's like a mystery show, sort of. So, I read the books You and Hidden Bodies by Caroline Kepnes. You, when it first came out, and then Hidden Bodies as soon as it came out. Because the first book was so good, and I've read everything of her since. I think she's come out with a book also called Providence. So, which is excellent. It'll probably be made into a TV show or something like that too, right? So, I have watched all of that stuff like on Netflix, season 1 and season 2 of You, and I do highly recommend them. They're not like the books. There are differences. I would say there's more differences in the second season from the books than there is in the first season. But there are differences in both, and I just love the series, and I can't wait to see where season 3 is going to take that show, because the books end at the end of like the second season of the TV show. So I don't know where it's going to be headed, and the endings are completely different. I do recommend, if you like the TV show, to go ahead and read the books. Even if you don't read books a lot, I bet you'll like them. I highly recommend those books and the TV show, and check them out this month. What are you waiting for? Let's start out 2020 with some great reading material and great stuff to watch, right? So, I will get off of here for now. I did want to do an update, like more on me, so you get to know me and the things I'm interested in. I did start this YouTube channel to do things that I'm interested in and share them with the world. So I do plan to keep up with the Hunt a Killer subscription and do the unboxings and the investigation videos. And I may not do Margot Elena unboxings anymore for that subscription box, but there are other channels that fit that niche and that do that for you. And I do highly recommend Margot Elena. I love her products. But I want to take my channel in the direction of just like being centered around mystery. So I'm going to share more mystery stuff with you guys. The mystery books I read, the mystery stories I'm writing, the mystery video games I play, the TV shows that I watch, the movies that I watch. I'm going to share so much more mystery with you guys in 2020, and I hope you look forward to it. Well, I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.